Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Game 3 of a best of 5 between Underthesea and Gonzo in the grand final of the Season 5 playoffs of the Steel Division 2 League. Today they are playing on Haroshaje, and on our left in the red team playing on the allied side we have Gonzo using the 10th Guards Tank Corps and the balanced deployment type. And on our right in the blue team, also playing on the allied side, we have Underthesea using the 3rd Canadian Infantry and the Maverick deployment type. Please remember that all the games played in the finals were played before the Burning Baltics DLC and also the range changes. So here we are. Looks like Underthesea is going to be going for another of the Western Front divisions. He's played the 2nd French twice now, and he's now going to be playing the 3rd Guards. The 3rd Guards is a very similar in playstyle to the 2nd, except from I feel like it has a bit more utility, basically due to things like the 17 pounders and stuff like that. So it has a bit more of like a longevity to the game, even though, like in this case, he's going to be playing Maverick. Now, Maverick is an interesting deployment type. We don't see it all that often. It can be very aggressive early on. Obviously, has more points available than balanced by like 10 in phase A. That adds up to like a few more units of infantry throughout the phase. But in B, obviously, he's going up to 170 points of income, which is a large amount of income, but you only get that for 10 minutes. So what ends up happening generally with Maverick is they get very strong towards the end of phase B, and then they've got to utilize everything that they have at that moment as it moves into phase C to push as hard and as fast as they can, hopefully already having an advantage earlier on to finish off the game. Because the longer you're in phase C4, the more likely you are to lose. And it has a much faster fall off than Vanguard in terms of like how quickly things can get broken down, because it becomes harder and harder to reinforce as the game goes on. But ultimately the games tend to last longer because Maverick requires more time to win than Vanguard does. So there you go. That's what Maverick is all about. But the 10th Guards is an interesting choice. I haven't really seen the 10th Guards competitively much, so that'll be fun to take a look at. Let's have a look at what's going down. Gonzo's going to be going for Tankos. He's got the Ognemachiki and the Razvedka. So he's going for that kind of combination of Razvedka with like frontline infantry again. Further down, we're seeing the PTRS squads with the Kavadia, Razvedka following up with the Tankos, and then Avtok on Rotti in there. He's got two 2-star T-34 85 1943s on that road as well. Looks like he's got 4 Kavadia there. They're probably going to be rushing into the town somewhat. And then the PTRS squad zooming up ahead. Tankos on the bottom side here, Kavadia, Razvedka behind. So yeah, Kavadia, all that good stuff, backed up by Razvedka again. Very similar setup to the last game with the 3rd Guards. Defense group on the top side for Underthesea with the Staghound zooming ahead. The rifles of Piat following up. Further down we see sniper scouts and a rifle leader zooming into the town with the defense group in the white trucks and the rifles of Piat and the 6-pounder. Field engineers following up with the 2 Wolverines here and 2 Sherman 5 DDs at 2-star vet. Rifle leader zooming into the town with 2 field engineers and 3 2-star rifles there. And then on the bottom side, it's going to be more field engineers, defense group, and a 6-pounder. So this bottom side defense is a bit weaker here for Underthesea. These field engineers and defense group are all 5-man squads. So a push from anything more substantial, like, I don't know, 3 squads of Tanko Desaniki, 4 squads of Tanko Desaniki, 2 Kavadia and 2 Razvedka, might actually get quite a lot of damage done. And you can see that Gonzo's actually put down a bit of smoke here, just hoping not to get sniped by the 6-pounder that's been put into the back garden. Again, PTRS squad dropping down smoke for his own units to get into position. And, well, here we go. Let the battle commence as the rifles start to engage the Kavadia. Now, the defense group are relatively good at range because they do have the 2 Brens. At high veterancy, they can do quite a lot of damage. But ultimately, their numbers lets them down. So in this case, the Kavadia which are already in a good position, have done a lot of damage to these defense group which are not in position. They are not in heavy cover. So that's basically making them lose out quite badly there. And this rifle with Piet took the brunt of the fire. Two 234s moving up here. Rifles forced to exit the church quite quickly. I'm interested to see how Gonzo is going to manage the engagement between the T-34-85s and things like the Shermans and Wolverines. Because I do kind of find that T-34-85s are naturally quite slow to aim in close range engagements. So something like a Sherman would probably be able to fire faster and maybe find side shots and stuff like that. There's Vidka engaging the rifles of Piet. Tankos will be able to push them off the top there, probably pin them down quite quickly and kill them off, although it looks like Underthesea, it was quick on the mark there to fall that back, avoided the engagement with the Tankos as soon as he saw it. Very, very nice awareness. I think that's something that I've been quite impressed with Underthesea, honestly, is his just overall map awareness. He seems to always be able to micro his units on the side whenever he needs to. But ultimately tends to try and concentrate his forces. But here we've got a bit of a standoff. Underthesea does have the advantage. I think technically due to this flag. I'm just trying to see if there's any other flags on the map that he shouldn't have control over. I'm pretty sure it is just this one that technically starts on the side of Gonzo. So Underthesea contesting that, putting some points on the board, or taking points away or tickets away from Gonzo, I guess. And this is a good place for the Maverick to be. So Maverick wants to get an advantage in A and then capitalize on the advantage in B. But there hasn't really been any armor engagements yet. So a lot of these engagements really and kills aren't that big a deal at the moment. Both players probably have plenty of infantry up their sleeve. You can see that Underthesea is bringing in loads more, but he is bringing in this off map, and the off map could certainly break the stalemate. If that lands well, it could allow the Shermans and Wolverines to engage these T-34-85s and get some serious damage done. It looks like the Sherman did take a hit though in an engagement with the T-34-85. Oh, the Wolverine getting a shot to the face there. Doesn't manage to return a penetration. That's actually really bad. So now Underthesea has two tanks that are damaged, whilst Gonzo, it looks like all of his are pretty fresh at the moment. Oh, there goes a penetration into the T-34 76 1942. Oh, look at that off-map placement though. Oh, that could be juicy. T-34 76 1942 goes down as well to the 3-star Sherman, but that is returned in kind by the 85 1944. Then the 1944 variant does have 5% more accuracy on its main gun with AP shells than the 1943. It also, of course, has APCR shells, which are very accurate. So in these close range engagements, it's almost like 100% hit, pretty much. And that's really, really nice. Compared to the T-34 1943 that might miss, but it does have the extra veterancy there, so I guess that's how Gonzo's trying to counteract that. But here comes the off-map. It's going to kill off the Avto Comrati, so it takes away the leadership there. That's quite important, actually. Big kill. And now Gonzo's going to run away with his Gavardia, as he doesn't want a half-track or something flying down the road and surrendering his troops. Rifles here. They're doing okay against the Gavardia. I'm very surprised to see Underthesea like continue these engagements while he's not in heavy cover though. I do feel like it probably loses him more troops by doing so. I guess like at least one of these rifles maybe being in the building might be a good idea, but maybe that was a good positioning because then the second Gavardia doesn't get involved. I'm not sure. But either way, that engagement continuing on the bottom side. Spitfire actually finds Resist 3. It's going to bomb that. Doesn't get the kill though. That's Resist 3. previously. Has done a lot of work to Underthesea's units in the matchup against the 2nd French, so he's going to want to try and get rid of that if he can. New unit of Gavardi does get into position. It looks like that T-34 went down there to something. Might have been the Sherman 5. Looks like Underthesea is making some pretty good ground here. 14 to 10. Slowly breaking down Gonzo's forces. Tankos have got close though to these rifles, and the rifles have been taken out. Ooh, bit of a mistake there, losing the Tanko in the armoured car. Vardy taking a lot of damage in the open. Tankos versus field engineers. Technically, the Tankos should win as long as, yeah, Gonzo micros this properly. But he did jump out a little late there. He took quite a lot of damage. T-34-85 on the ridge. Hits a Wolverine. Using that in the similar position to the Zis-3. That's good line of sight over the town from there. Able to pop any tanks that kind of show themselves briefly. Or sniper scouts. They're actually going to be able to clean that Tanko Dasaniki up. Gonzo doesn't want that to happen though, so he's going for the retreat. T-34-85 looking for the shot onto the sniper scouts, but now coming under fire from the 6-pounder. This 6-pounder does have the APCR shots available, only on 1 health though. Does get a penetration. T-34-85 a little bit damaged now. Going to get the HE on target. Another penetration. So that's 1 shot away from dying, that T-34-85. Sniper Scout does take out the Zis-3. Doesn't return the kill. Almost did. That was on target, it would have. Oh, that was a nice engagement there. Sherman 5s move in. 2v1 versus the T-34-85 1944. Kill it off. This is what I'll talk about with the Sherman 5s. They can still be scary at close range. T-34-85s really don't deal with these town engagements very well. And now there's another 6-pounder here from Underthesea. He's got to be super careful. He's backing that off big time. Doesn't want his T-34-85 to die up on that hill. Yak's trying to come in. Ooh, that's 2 Staghound AAs. Suppressing that Yak 1 very quickly. Spitfire goes for a cheeky bombing strike. Try and finish off the T-34, but doesn't get the kill. Another one coming in. That was going for the Yak. He might be able to utilize that to try and go for the bombing strike onto the T-34 as well, if he can keep line of sight on it. But so far, yeah, Gonzo's armor hasn't really been all that impressive. He has managed to find a couple kills here and there. Ooh, nice bombing strike. Kills off a Gavardia squad with that. But ultimately, trading like a T-34-85 for something like a Wolverine, really bad value for money. Like a Wolverine's only 50 points. Whereas that T-34-85 in this patch was 90 points. So this Wolverine's already paid itself off and more just by getting that 1 kill. And that's the value that Underthesea is slowly but surely getting out of his troops. We've now moved into Phase B. Underthesea is going to have his Maverick income. So this is really where he has to push hard and gain a double tech. Got to utilize that income advantage in this phase, or he could just potentially lose out in the late game. Here comes another off map. This must be like the 3rd off map. 3rd and final off map from the Ram. Another 6-pounder gone down there. If Gonzo can get rid of the 6-pounders, it will allow him to potentially surround the town with heavy armor. Or at least, I guess it's technically medium armor, like the T-34-85s. And kind of start to cut off the reinforcements and force ranged engagements with things like Shermans. And at range, the Shermans lose out to the T-34-85s quite a lot. So I think that's something that Gonzo could definitely try for. We haven't seen any movement on the top or bottom side yet from either player. I think Underthesea's got away with having a rather light defense here on the bottom side of the map for the time being. But here comes the off map. It does manage to get a surrender. He manages to secure himself another of the flags. Using these rifles at 2-star veterancy has allowed him to match up to these Gavardia really, really well. Because just with the leader nearby, you get them up to 3-star, and like the Lee Enfield and the Bren really do start to like tear into infantry squads. Oh, that's going to be a bomber onto the Razvedka. Oh, it kills the Gavardia. Almost kills the Razvedka, but I think the 37 maybe made that miss a little bit. I'm not sure. But AA starting to be brought in. There's also, I mean, there's already AA up here covering the T-34, 85, 1944, and Gonzo's got 2 AA pieces now in the middle. That Spitfire might still be able to get the bombing strike off though. It's going for the ZIS-3 there. Does manage to get the bombing strike on target, but might end up losing the Spitfire there. Doesn't have a crazy amount of resilience and flew directly towards the 37, so indeed does go down. Avtos have been spotted here. Doesn't really have to get close to kill them off. Oh, nice. The Stag Count AA has shot down the Yak in return. Good trade there. And we're really starting to see Underthesea put a lot of pressure on with his division. Gonzo just couldn't find the kills that he needed with the T-34-85s. And these T-34-85 1943s, they only have 1 machine gun. They're actually not that good at engaging enemy infantry. And in this case, you can see that he's even turned off the HE shell. And the reason you do that with the T-34-85s is so they don't start firing HE at infantry, and then like a tank pops out the woodwork and it has to reload to AP before it can fire again. He's just making sure that whenever he bumps into a tank, he can immediately engage it and just let the hull gunner engage infantry. He does get a good penetration there onto the Sherman 5, but the Sherman does get into cover. These Avtos of Gonzo are trying their best to stay relevant, but they're really not doing too great. Good kill there onto the rifles of Pierre, though. Bit of a mistake. Underthesea's not going to let that happen to the second squad. This is the things that I'm really impressed with about Underthesea's micro, and just his sheer awareness of like seeing these things happen. So he noticed that the Avto died there, so he immediately changed the order of the rifles of Pierre. He's going to go for this flag instead. Like, those little things are actually what separates the good players from like the great players. Avto Comrothy going down there, so Gonzo's going to lose some more leadership. This one's maintaining leadership onto the T-34-85, but we got the off map coming in onto the T-34 there. That must be like a second ram, I guess. Just trying to see, because I feel like that's already done 3 strikes. Okay, this 3 goes down to the bombing strike. These 37s, it's got a few of them, but they're quite long range. Will he get the kill? Honestly, that Spitfire kind of pulling up slightly there at the end probably saved it. And Kangaroos now moving in. So the Canadians don't really get half tracks, or many of them, but they do get these Kangaroos. And those Kangaroos, they got 50 cows, and they're pretty hard to kill. They're going to provide some nice fire support there. But the 6-pounders, damn, the 6-pounders being used like quite aggressively here to clean up these T-34-85s. We've seen it on the top side of the town already for quite a while. But this is serious domination here from Underthesea. The Maverick deployment type really getting the job done. We're now going to start seeing the rifles and the Shermans move into the bottom side to help with a push down here. This could be bad if Gonzo manages to get a tank into position to engage these Sherman 3s and the kangaroos and just take them out. A counterattack would be pretty brutal against these weaker squads. But even more reinforcements on the way, so never mind. 6-pounder takes out the T-34-85 1943. And those 6-pounders, every kill here is just so much value. As the Wolverines take out another T-34-85. Looks like Gonzo's being forced to bring in his Tigers. The 10th Guards does get these captured Tigers. And we're going to see the first of them here. With the Soviet star on it. Not sure that's going to be too useful in this situation. If anything, Gonzo's just going to have that in position to engage anything that moves outside of the town, as opposed to actually moving the Tiger into the town. So it's going to be, yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. T-34-85 1943. Trying to kill off the 6-pounder. 6-pounders ran out of APCR. It's going to get taken out by the T-34 at max range. Not covered yet. Have been spotted. Looks like the Tankos, though, the ones under fire. Sherman's actually got line of sight onto the flamer unit. Taking out that flamer would give Underthesea another flag, but he's going to go straight through here. Oh, both of the rifles of Piat go down, though. That's 2 Tigers on the backside of that town. Yeah, good luck getting through those. But he doesn't need to. Underthesea is now making a concerted effort on this bottom side. He's got the kangaroos and the Shermans supporting his infantry as he pushes up. And he's making a lot of ground. These Razvedka not in position to take out the Shermans. I think Gonzo's, he's starting to make a push on the top side. The Razvedka does get one of the Shermans at least. Can he get the second? If he can take out the second, he can probably stabilize. These Tenkos could probably rip through a few of these defense group quite easily. Nice. Second one goes down. Now just the kangaroos to deal with, but the Razvedka, one of them has been surrendered. Mosquito coming in with a bombing strike onto the T-34-85. He's trying to bomb that because it is technically damaged. It's got a crit on it. But it's not damaged enough to get the kill. Next bombing strike probably will do the job though, so Gonzo's got to watch out there. In the town, things looking rough. Like, there is no infantry in front of Gonzo's tanks now. And those Wolverines just absolutely double tap that T-34-76. And this is just another flag now that Gonzo needs to take back. The timing here has been really, really good from Underthesea. Like, he maintained the 1 tick in phase A, and then by the end of phase B, you can see he's managed to find the double tick. And this is exactly what you want to do with Maverick. It's what I was explaining at the start with how the division works. And now he's basically got to hold with the points that he has on the board as long as he can to win the game. So in this case, 4 minutes. So if Gonzo can start to kill off quite a lot of units and get good value out of his units now, then Underthesea could still have a really bad time in this game. But so far so good. Spitfire comes in to take out the Oknemachiki, gives another flag over. So that's now 18-6. That's a triple tick. Underthesea's found a triple tick versus Gonzo. That's something I did not expect to see at the beginning of the series. But a very impressive performance here of the 3rd Canadian. It is a very strong division. The 10th Guard's something that I haven't really seen much of in competitive play. So maybe there's a good reason for that. Defense group going up against the Razvedka here. The Razvedka don't really have many men left, so the defense group with the Brens might actually get the advantage there. 6-pounder is being brought up. Got 2 M10 Wolverines behind. Looks like the Cavadia have managed to get through the defense group and engineers on this bottom side, but still 17-7. The triple tick, for even just a minute, took an extra minute off of the double tick. So yeah, that's not great. And wow, Tiger goes down. Look at all of those smoke piles. most of that is Gonzo's tanks. Gavardia pushing in here. Ooh. Straight into... is that off map? That's not good. Those Gavardia get pinned down very quickly. Oh, the M10's going up against the Tiger on the bottom. One of them's gone down. Wolverine misses. Tiger hits the mark. And so does the T-34. Wolverine's dead on the bottom. Staghounds in the middle have died. Gonzo's trying to push back really hard right now. He has to. He's only got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Underthesea's just got to hold on. There's a very limited amount of resources available in the late game. But he's still finding value. He's got the 37mm down. He killed the Tiger there. Oh, looks like the 6-pounder. He got a penetration on the T6. Can he finish it off? Oh, he can't. The APCR shot didn't do enough damage. That's a case where turning off the APCR probably would have got the kill. Gavardia, though, look at here. These got absolutely wrecked as they pushed into the town. Tiger trying to take on the Wolverine. Oh, Wolverine bouncing off the front armor there. E2 coming in for the bombing strike, looking to take back this one, just get rid of that double tick. We'll give him an extra like 30 seconds or so to work with. Mosquitoes though coming in. Tiger is quite damaged from that AT engagement. Tiger goes down. Spitfire takes out the Gavardia. Yep, we see it go back up to 35 seconds as we hit the 14, but that's going to be 15. It chops that in half. 13 seconds. Looks like Underthesea will just about be able to hold on. What a game. Wow. A perfect example of how to use Maverick. Very, very, very nice indeed. That was on a knife edge at the end there. Gonzo was starting to break back. Just not enough time for him. Perfect execution of Maverick from Underthesea, I would say. And Gonzo, yeah, starting to get the kills back at the end. Kill advantage for Gonzo in the end. But, yeah. Didn't quite have the time. So this T-34 85 1943 actually got quite a few kills there. 2 Wolverines in the Ram. But the earlier T-34s were quite unimpressive. Only 1 Sherman 5 went down for like the first 10 minutes of the game. I don't know if that's quite 10 minutes, but either way, these Wolverine and Kangaroos didn't come in till a lot later, that's for sure. So I feel like early on those T-34s just didn't really perform. If they had, Underthesea might have been in a bit of a more precarious position, but ultimately managed to get away with having quite a light defense on the bottom side, put a lot of effort into the middle, kept Gonzo's attention there, and that was really well played, I think. No particularly standout mistakes from either player, honestly. There were a few moments where both sides lost some transports maybe unnecessarily, but you always see that in these kinds of games because there's just so much going on. But look at this Wolverine. That's a 50-point Wolverine taking out 2 T-34-85s. The Sherman took out a T-34-85. This Wolverine took out a T-34-76. The Sherman 5 took out a T-34-76. And this is why Underthesea had such a springboard to absolutely demolish Gonzo in Phase B with the Maverick deployment type. It really came down to those armored engagements and the fact that Underthesea still had armored support in the middle when his rifles were pushing forwards. So yeah, great game. Really, really enjoyed that one, but that puts Underthesea 2-1 up in this best of 5. How many of you guys saw that coming? Underthesea is really, really impressing me so far. Of course, Gonzo, great player as well, has done very well in the second game. And almost took this game back. I don't know if it was really like that close though, because Gonzo had lost a lot of like the tigers and stuff, kind of overextending to gain ground. But either way, fantastic game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.